Hey guys, I'm trying to unlock live stream. Um, I'm gonna do a little introduction on Resident Evil 5 on PlayStation 4. I've beaten the game. I'm almost done on. I've actually gotten about halfway through um, as far as getting 5 stars. I'm trying to remember. I haven't played it in a little bit. But hey guys, yeah, dude, my name's Nick. California, doing these play videos. You'll see me getting up and down, checking the camera and stuff. There we go. I'm kind of. This is just a janky version of what my production quality will hopefully be in the future. Wow, this is really blurry. Look how blurry it was. Wow. I'm just trying to center the screen, center this TV. Let me back it out. Total noobs. And so, hey guys, this is probably about as good as the screen quality is going to get right here for now. I got to get a tripod. That's just my Moto G Play, just sort of sitting there. And so this is just a bad sample of what the quality might be like in the future. I will surely only try to improve here. And so this is I'm just sort of testing the waters out here and just seeing what you guys might want. And so for the most part, I think I've gotten most of them A's, a few B's, a few S's. So I haven't beat everything on S for sure. No, not even close. I actually haven't even beaten everything on A. But I just wanted to give you a little introduction as far as how the game works. Um, this game is organized quite a bit differently than Resident Evil 4. Here are some of these weapons are all, um, these are all upgrade weapons. Every single one of these weapons is unlimited. And so let me get these all filled up here. And I'm going to check my screen just because I know that this screen shot will show me how everything's organized. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And so I'm going to adjust now. Wow, that is really, that is really bad quality. I was just playing Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, okay, the quality is not so bad. But now I realize that my phone isn't really capturing the quality because the quality of this video is the same as what the Resident Evil 4 video looks like. And I got to do some recording on my tablet. This is just my phone, and so I got to do a little setup. But I'm just like sort of whatever, just sort of screwing off. I know that for the most part, you guys probably anybody that actually cares to play probably doesn't care so much about video quality. This is another one of the unlocks, classic horror, retro. These are the different filters. Um, and so I'm gonna do noise just because I think it's fun. I actually haven't tried it. We got a couple costumes. It looks like these are the one of the unlocks. Here's one, Warrior, Heavy Metal. Let's do Warrior. So I think that's what we need. And then we'll get her in, there's no weakest. Clubbin. I like Fairytale. And so, and I actually didn't know this. I actually didn't see this one. I knew that this was one, and I've seen the Clubbin one, but maybe I never unlocked the Fairytale. Maybe I just unlocked it. I'm not sure, guys. And so this, I'm really a big, I've played way more Resident Evil 4 than I've played Resident Evil 5. I've beat this game maybe a handful of times. Let's see, extra content, the Mercenaries, I actually haven't even played this. And this is one of the unlocks too. Let's do a solo. See, as you can tell, I haven't even unlocked one of these. Cool. Well, this is learning experience for a second. Okay. Let's check that out. But why would you do the different costumes? Interesting. I'm just gonna run around just for a second. I didn't anticipate doing this. I'll have to do this on another video. And so I wanted to do an introduction on how to play the game and how this game differs from Resident Evil 4 because it does have a couple main differences. The graphics are a little better for sure. The gameplay is a little faster. It's a little bit more of a quicker game for sure. It reacts faster. He walks a little bit faster. It's certainly more dynamic too. For anybody that's played both of them, can tell you that this game is much more graphically exciting and just interesting and just sort of just a much better quality graphic experience. But not to say that they don't build that Resident Evil 5 doesn't build on a lot of the stuff that was going on in Resident Evil 4. This sort of outside assembly thing is a very common theme in both of them. You're pretty much outside like the entire time of Resident Evil 5. You're pretty much outside as far as I can remember. I can't remember. There's only one level that you're not kind of outside, and that's the ship deck. And yeah, guys, like I said, I'm just kind of fooling around. I've actually never played this. This is actually super gorgeous. I can't believe the graphics are so much better. I was just playing, Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries, and it's really nice to watch to see the difference. And I think the noise filter applies to this too, gameplay, but I'm not positive. But like I said, guys, just kind of fooling around. I wanted to show the main things that I wanted to show as far as introduction to anybody that maybe wanted to buy the game, or that has bought it, or is thinking about buying it, or something to that effect. I wanted to show. The first thing I wanted to show was because really you should watch the Resident Evil 4 video that I have, the introduction one, because I want to show you sort of a lot of the common things that are common to both of them. And then in this video, I'll kind of talk about the main differences between this one and Resident Evil 4. And if you play them both, then you'll totally know that already. It's very, and one of the things is actually just the way that this game walks. Just the way that he walks, the actual functions on the controller to make him walk are actually different from Resident Evil 4. In Resident Evil 4, the camera sort of follows him around corners and stuff, and whereas in this one, you have to actually move with the right joystick to get him to follow around corners so that you can see around a corner, or else it'll just, and I'll show you a perfect example. And like that's a common thing that obviously that's a common thing. And so I just was playing Resident Evil 4 and I just crapped out. Like, how do I change weapons? Because I just realizing And so you press triangle to bring up your weapons menu, but the difference is that, and you have a quick select on your directional pad. And so if you press up on your directional pad, it'll switch to whatever corresponds. And so as you can tell, you know, of course, this one corresponded to a grenade, and so, and then I'll press right, and then I'm back to my shotgun, I just press right, and I'm back to my shotgun, blow these busters out of the way here. And then I wanted to show you this. Okay, so I'm going to take a corner. Here's the ammo. I'm going to take some corner right here. With just the left trigger, with the left joystick, that's the experience you get. It's almost two-dimensional. And so it won't fall, you have to use both joysticks which is actually that's a pretty big difference. When you play Resident Evil 4 and then you pop in Resident Evil 5, that's the first thing you notice is the movement. And so to walk forward and take a left, you will have to walk forward like this and then keep your joystick pressed straight as you press left with this. And then it changes his view, and then for him you're still walking straight. And it's a weird sensation. And I'm going to just play a regular level so that I can show you a little bit more of the mechanics. This looks like an online. Is this online? Yeah, this is an online extra series. We have Lost in Nightmares. Chris lost his partner. This is a campaign, or this is an offline, and this is another offline. And so there is actually some really good gold here as far as extra stuff too. The mercenary, I mean, that mercenaries looks like it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I can't believe I haven't played it. And then Resident Evil 6 also has the mercenaries. And I'm just going to do a chapter so I can show you guys what's what with the motions and all this sort of stuff. And I'm going to play on professional because that's what I'm used to. And I don't want it to seem boring for you guys. And so I'm going to have my infinite ammo, but it's going to be on professional. Sorry, and so, and like I said, guys, please forgive the shoddy quality. That's going to be my first thing. As soon as I can get a little bit, a tiny bit of revenue, I'm going to certainly reinvest everything in the quality. And I don't expect to get revenue for about a year or so. And so what I'll probably do is get a tripod, hook up my tablet, and that'll probably be good enough for probably this year. As you can see here, guys, I got all these unlimited weapons. And then, yeah, his new outfit. And yeah, this outfit is awesome. He looks like the Misfits, lead singer from the Misfits here, which is awesome, incredible. I just can't say enough good things about this game, honestly. And so when you're running, and so like I said, this is sort of an introduction to this game, even though I'm a vet, and this is sort of, you know, I have unlimited weapons and everything, but I want to give you guys a taste of the glory of the game because it is really, really fun. And so here's an unlimited mag. This is a really fun gun. And so when I'm doing this, doing my motions to shoot, to aim, I'm just using one toggle. This is just the right toggle switch, and then I'm actually holding down L2, and I'm just sort of moseying around. And then when you walk, you have to press X and your direction. And I guess, okay, so that's the difference. Strange. And so when you actually stopped pressing X, the camera stops following you. See, I'm pressing X, I'm sprinting, and as you can see, the camera's following him, right behind him. Every corner, it turns for you. You can turn a corner and aim, and you're pretty much spot on. But when you're walking, he doesn't do that. The camera doesn't follow you at all. This is what, if I'm not pressing X, I'm just using one joystick, it is totally non-directional. And so this is me using both joysticks now. And so I'm actually using left and right on the right joystick, and then I'm actually just have left held down on it. And so it shall give you a pretty pure experience. This is pressing forward with the left joystick, and now I'm going to press with the right joystick, left and right, as I'm walking. And so this like I said again, this is left joystick fully straight, held straight, and then this is me sort of moseying around with the joystick. Um, and that's actually different from Resident Evil 4, I believe. Um, but either way, that's a trick. That's sort of tricky. Is actually just getting this guy to move properly and being able to do things like that. You know, access a ladder, get into a corner. You know, get sort of different, weird little little sections. Um, nice. And like that's just a little like what you'd call a little I was gonna say memento, but it's not it. It's sort of a little example of just the graphical intensity in the graphical density and quality and also just sort of dynamic. Because you could almost there's quite a few things that you can sort of shoot, and this is a bad example that will sort of react. And I mean, even like stuff in the sky. I mean, even the sun and all of that light and all of that sort of thing. It is really good. It makes it feel so real. And this is, I think, in my mind, one of the most realistic and fun and rewarding FPS games. Because yeah, I mean, you can spend a lot of time playing Call of Duty online and upgrading weapons and stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, you're playing the fucking game online, and you can only play online, which sucks ass. I mean, at the end of the day, if your internet connection's down, you can't play games, and like screw that, you know. And so I've always been a big fan of offline games, just for that reason. Not so much just because I'm cheap, which I am, and I actually suck at FPS for the most part. I love the story mode about this because I can start over and just whatever. Because I'm sort of a artard too, and so I'm from California, and so I'm sort of Brie. I sort of got that Brie thing going. I sort of and so anyway. But like I said, and check out those milkers right there. I mean, and if you zoom in on them, that's some pretty good milk experience. I mean, she looks pretty good. She's sitting there, she's blinking at you. I mean, to me, this is probably one of the best. Like I said, I'm not gonna, because 6 is really good too. But in the graphics and stuff in 6, and also in 2, and I'm sure they're really great on PS5 too. Like I said, I'm kind of broke. I'm just kind of getting back into games, and just kind of wanted to get a little bit of a following doing this sort of gaming stuff because I think it's fun. I want to do live streams and sort of get more people into Resident Evil because it is awesome, bitch. And you'll probably see me like, if I really make this channel work, it'll probably be almost a strictly Resident Evil channel where I'm playing all of the different Resident Evil games. And I'll probably, make a cool, some merch, maybe like some like, Resident Evil-esque merch. And so it'll be like, a t-shirt that alludes to my YouTube channel, sure, but it'll be more like a Star shirt or it'll look like a Resident Evil shirt, but it'll, have a little reference to my stupid channel, which I'll probably change channels a couple times before I really create enough following to really do that. In a few years or so. I think it would be cool to, reinvest in some cool merch and just whatever. Just keep the kind of YouTube spirit alive because anybody can really do this, with your PlayStation and with a, little camera phone or whatever, just to start. This setup right here, I bought my PlayStation used on Amazon. Shout out to what was his Amazon seller account. I'll have to mention that in another video. It was like some sort of anyway. And so he hooked me up with a used, and he actually cleaned them. he was like a service. He would actually service the PlayStations and pull the case off, clean out the lint and stuff like that, and service them. And so I'm not sure that he offers that as a service, aside from his refurbished PlayStations. But he sells the refurbished PlayStations cleaned up. And so this one was all clean. And it took, the first PlayStation I got him was actually quite screwed up. I don't know what happened, but he's like, I resold it to another person, no problem, because it had like missing screws and like one of the screws was coming out. And I'm like, okay, I can't substantiate paying for that sort of quality, and so whatever. But long story short, he ended up hooking me up fat. He's a pretty good guy. Anyway, I got this thing for about $220. He threw in. I had to get another controller for him. It's kind of a total hassle. Buying used, I don't really advise buying used actually. If you buy a used unit, you should buy one that's certified through Sony or through Amazon or through one of the certified sellers. I got sort of a hobby PlayStation mechanic guy, and he wasn't the best, but he did hook me up, and I'm gonna give him a good shout out on my channel at some point, and stuff like that. Like I said, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the motions. I can tell you about how the weapons unlocks work. And so the way you unlock the weapons and stuff isn't actually just by beating the game. It's actually by the rating that you beat the game with. And so when you finish a chapter, and you probably see it in this video, and I think you just did actually. It was the end of a chapter, or maybe you didn't. Or no, this is the beginning of the chapter. And so I'll play the end of the chapter so you see it. The way that you actually get, and look at that booby shot. Ooh, yummy. Look at those forearms, dude. Get cut. She is so funny. She looks so cute, man. And so, the way that you actually get the weapons is by your point rating. And so, the higher your ranking, the higher points. It's a scale between 1,000 and 2,500. And, or 3,000 maybe for like an S score, which is like the best of the best score. I meant my vapes and my THC vape. Shout out to the hemp bill and all that. Keeping me from a very boring and painful life. Inexpensive. Yeah, and I've got these, these Delta 9 gummies. They're bomb. About 30 milligrams of Delta 9 per gummy. I got a bad back problem. So I'm eating about 2 a day or more. 2 per day. Couple ones of pain, baby. And so, like I said, guys, my name's Nick. California. Mid of the coast. They call it Central Coast. About an hour north of LA. So that's where I started to play video games. My humble video game beginnings. Still humble, you better believe it. Hacking down a cigarette right here, okay. And so, sort of same deal as far as Resident Evil, and I'm full now because, and as you can notice, I've set my quick menu, like I said, just getting back to that, and like I said, you can switch those up so that you have a health spray on the quick menu. check out those triceps, and then you got these, and then I got the rest of the quick menu. And so the quick menu is all 4 directions, and it's super bitchin' actually. It's really, really awesome. It helps a lot. And I'd like to show you guys each weapon. So this is the HK weapon. This has got the limited clip in there, and this is sort of and I'll show you a sort of a short display of its accuracy and stuff, as you can see on this wall. And it's actually quite accurate. It's one of the most accurate rifles. It's probably the most accurate. At this distance, it's more accurate than the other one, which I can request from her exchange for. I'll exchange it for the mag. And then, as you can see, this thing is sort of, I mean, it almost is more accurate, but I don't know. It's sort of up to the preference, I guess. At distance, this thing's a little more accurate than the HK, but not by a whole lot, especially at burst. They're both about the same at burst. But then we got our slug shooter here. Shoot big slug sprays right there. I don't know what this is, some sort of massive buckshot. But just to show you guys the spread, because I think that's sort of interesting. Here's the rifle. You know, the spread on that. Pow, 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 pow. And so, and that's like the best rifle. Little model after the HK. And you know, you can very easily see that these weapons are perfectly modeled after real weapons, and so they really do try to make it quite realistic. And here's another really badass weapon too, is this handgun. And this thing's super accurate. It's basically a submachine gun with burst. And so if you sit here and you press R2 like this, you basically have a submachine gun. If you hold it down, it does that. So this is me holding down sort of burst fire. But it's a great gun. This gun gets me through the game every time. Because the main thing isn't because it's accurate or because of the burst fire, but because it uses handgun ammo, and that it's I mean, it does. That is the biggest. The biggest thing is that it's handgun ammo. The other thing, the other positive attributes of the gun are sort of secondary to the fact that you really want to use handgun ammo because it's more prevalent throughout the whole game. There's much more of it, and so it just like I was saying about the Resident Evil 4. If you watch the Resident Evil 4 video, you hear me talk about how you really got to scavenge and go up in each and every door and try, especially on your first pass through, you really want to take your time and find everything, because it makes the game, otherwise the game's almost not playable. You have to find pretty much everything to be able to make the game playable. And like here's another cue to how cool the game is. Just, you can blow up the TV. You can even blow up this light bulb, I believe. Light bulb. Certain lights you can. Let's show this later. And so, but anyway, because I would be doing that if you could do that, I would do that. And so here's another thing. They always do those where they have a trigger. And so you'll go to a certain door, or you'll go past a certain point in the level. Like sometimes, like if I were to walk through here, instead of going to the door first, it would have triggered both of them too. And so there's different trigger points in the game. This right here is one. Touching that door is one. Sometimes it's opening a box. Sometimes it's opening a big chest like this. And then there's 4 guys that come out to try to get you. And so that's another thing to keep in mind, is just the trigger points. Knowing, anticipating that there is trigger points and sort of knowing where they are. Because you can generally anticipate for the most part. Another thing is the music. And so when you hear the music change, that is generally indicative of you running into some sort of stressor. And so the music is very, and you'll hear it change a lot. And sometimes there is no music, and then the music will come on, and that is almost always indicative of something going on. And so, and like I said, this is just a really sort of super basic general introduction, just to how to play the game. Nothing specific, just sort of how far I've got, just sort of my experience with it. You can see the costumes and all that jazz. I mean, I've spent probably something like 15 hours or more playing the game. This specific one, or well, at least on this system, probably more. When I had my PlayStation 3, I probably had a good 30 hours or so in that one too. But I was a little bit better by the time I got my this time around for PS4. I haven't played in a long time. I actually just got this my new setup about a year ago, and like I said, it was a pretty budget setup. I wanted to get back to my old gaming, and I was really excited to know that I could get 4 and 5 on PS4 because I wasn't sure. I go, oh my god, dude, what am I gonna have to do? Get a PS3 to play my old favorite PS3 games? What am I gonna have to do? And so I was really pleasantly surprised, and and then I can enjoy some other good games too. I also have the Grid for PS4, which I really like the one for PS3, and I'm really sad that I don't have the PS3 version because I love the drifting. It was so fun. Everything about it was so cool. And I'm really sad that they don't have it. But they have some other really good, they have the Toge or the Toma, however you pronounce that. They have a bunch of different really nice road racing segments. They're really fun. And so I'm kind of pleasantly surprised as I am a little bit disappointed now. But I was really initially super disappointed. I go, no! They took out all the Japanese cars! And then I found out that they still had some of them, but they didn't have the drifting, and I'm like, dude, I'm still kind of torn up about it. But I don't really, I don't play Grid super much because of that, because that was my favorite part. It was just free drift and just picking up the car and just going to one of the smaller tracks and just drifting. And so yeah, I just want to show you guys really that this is only 360p. This game at full HD, once I get full HD streaming and stuff up, you'll really can appreciate the graphic quality, because you're only getting like maybe 2/3 of the graphical clarity and stuff. You're getting the quality of 360. And this is basically 1080, so you're missing out on a lot. And so I do feel bad about that, but it's not really so much right now about the quality. I'm just trying to show you guys real basic introductions, just so that you can sort of realize how the game is played from the standpoint of trying to get through the thing, and not just trying to play it, but truly trying to get through it and trying to enjoy it. Because especially once you get an unlimited weapon, it's so fun. It becomes so fun. Once you even just get one unlimited weapon, it's really, really fun. And so that's a big thing, big choice for anybody. Which weapon you're gonna do first? I almost always pick an assault rifle. I think the first one I got was it was the SIG, and then I think I got the Magnum, because the Magnum helps a lot with the bosses. And so, but this is definitely one of the better. And like I said, once you have unlimited ammo, you can just go blow open the boxes with this, with the fire, or And I love this, how the cutscenes are costume appropriate. It's so fucking cool. I think it's so epic, just sort of like I said, another testament. I mean, this is the whole game. This is the identical video selection for whatever gameplay you play through. It's the same, but they'll actually edit in the different costumes for the entirety of all of it, as far as I know, which I think is just too cheesy and too funny and too adorable, And I think I've heard that the new Resident Evil, there's like a naked one, where they're all naked, where he's like walking around with it's like grotesque, which is pretty ridiculous, and like I'm really not into all of the super gore and all of that shit. It's not really. It's just sort of a stress reliever. This game for some reason. Instant gratification, you know. And I just like the idea of shooting zombies, especially naked with a raging boner. Not what the fuck? Oh my god, Capcom, that is so far, dude. And you know that there's got to be so many sexual innuendos in the game. You know, there's like everything's either got to be some sort of, you know what I mean? It's like everything. You know what I mean? And so, because, you know, the Japanese are like total muffheads. They just like love, you know, women and the dress up and the whole taboo of naked women to them. It's like so funny, you know. You know, the Japanese culture, you know, they're sort of like, you know, they're pretty conservative, but at the same time, they're real sort of, you know, immature. You know what I mean? And so it's just so funny how it shows so through in the Capcom games. You know, this sort of Japanese sort of cultural immaturity sort of thing. And I'll do a boss for you guys. I'll load this boss up for you guys, no problem. I'll pull out the Magnum and get to work on this guy. And I'll show you how it's done. Exchange for... and I'll actually do it the hard way without the furnace and without the explosives. And I'll show you how you can do it with just the Magnum, with the Unlimited Magnum. And this is why I choose to get the Unlimited Magnum initially, you know, after I get this assault rifle. And you can even get this one first, the Magnum first. And so this is another trigger scene. I think you do this and you, oh, you need to keep first. I'm sort of lagging on you guys. And like I said, you guys, this is like an initial video. I'm just chatting a lot, sort of unloading about the game, so you guys can get sort of a sort of a feel for, you know, whatever. It's not really about me getting a bunch of views or me getting a huge following or me making fame or anything like that. I'm really just trying to trying to rep the Resident Evil game. And so, like I said, it'll probably pretty much turn into a cult Resident Evil channel. And so pretty soon, once I get a small following, I'm going to probably, you know, post some videos where I can, you know, ask you guys, hey, are you guys ready to switch over to a new channel? I'm going to give you guys a new link for a new channel, and you guys can come check out the new channel and stuff like that. And so this enemy right here, dude, this one is really obviously super original and super scary and super a lot of things, right? Super stressful and super scary, not just scary, but well, I almost want to do it over so that I can show you guys how he regenerates. And so I didn't mean to kill him that fast. She has the hand cannon, and so she killed him really fast. And so I'm gonna restart this so that I can show you guys. I'm gonna take away her hand cannon. I'm actually going to, just for shits and giggles, you guys, I'm gonna give her the rotten egg, and I'm gonna give her a stun rod, and then I'm gonna give her the bow and arrow. And these are actually all, well, the rotten egg isn't an unlimited weapon, although it should be. I think that would be a great addition. Would just be rotten egg. Would be great, because you can actually throw it. If you see, where we exchange this, you can throw, you can and so look, watch. Oh, and you can eat it. Okay, and so but you can also throw it. You can eat the egg, which I don't know what that does. I guess I'll reload again and try it, but I'm gonna throw it for you guys just because I think it's funny. And so, you know, and it sort of leaves a little smear on the wall. And not that it does anything, but I just think it's neat that that it actually has the capability to where you can throw it or eat it, because it's a rotten egg, and so it's just sort of cute. And so I like those little stupid intricacy things. And actually, in all reality, if you're really a diehard FPS hole like I am, then you'll want to get the rifle first as your unlimited weapon. because if you really are a diehard, love shoot 'em up games, then this you definitely have to get the unlimited rifle first, for sure. And so I took away her weapons, like I said, so that I can show you guys how this guy regenerates. And so, and I'm gonna try to shoot off one of his arms, sort of one at a time. So there you go, I got one. So he kind of sort of rides, and then he'll grow it back. And so in about 10, 15 seconds or so, he will, and he knows where you're at too. And then R1 will bring up your menus, or your map. And so he does that thing too, where he disappears, and then he'll assimilate from the ground. Check this shit out. And then he assimilates from the ground, and then he shows up on the map, kind of at the same time. And then I'm gonna let her heal me, and like I said, I'm just gonna sort of shoot him up for you guys, just because. And I can do one. Okay, he's fast. I'll do a little bit of, just so I can show you guys the whole level, what happens. But so you shoot that thing, he pretty much does his ride thing, and he might, okay, so I beat him again. And so I'm not gonna kill him, I'm gonna let him revive. But, and then I'll show you this thing right here. And so what you do is you hit this, and then you have to trap him in there first. And so you can actually press it and then run through while it's closing and get him trapped in there. It's actually super difficult. And so she's stuck in there now. And so she just died in there. But yeah. And so that's actually super challenging to do when you don't have the weapons and stuff. And so I'll show you guys how to do it with no weapons, too, just to show you this. Because the game is so much more fun when you play with different techniques too. To play with, say, just one unlimited weapon, and I mean, there's so many different ways that you can make it more challenging or less challenging. Some, and then you have the co-op where you can play with two-player basically, and that's really fun to play split screen with another person in the household. It's really fun, dude. Super duper fun. It's like way more fun than playing alone because they're actually a partner. They are actually the other character, and so. I'm checking the phone just to make sure it's still going. And so, and yeah, dude, I really apologize again about the quality. It's really bad. But it'll give us all something to look forward to, and then also give me something to work on, and then yeah, it'll just give us something to look forward to, really. And so I might do some RE4 videos for the most part. It depends on really what you guys request. I think that it's going to be pretty much a fan-run show. As far as that, I think that's the best way to run a YouTube show is to just take a lot of suggestions from your fan base and stuff. And everything. And like I said, you guys, I'm totally sucking right now. I just want to show you how to get this guy caught in this thing. And so as you can see, he's actually, or as you probably can't see, because the fucking graphics suck right now on your side. So I'm edging him to try to get in here, but he's actually on the map. And so you can see him on the map, and what you're trying to do is to basically, get him to sit in there. Which is actually really difficult. And so that's why this whole level is set up in this sort of circular thing, is so that it makes it more difficult trying to, well, it makes it possible, but also quite difficult to get him caught in there. And see, I'm trying to get him to spawn. I was trying to get him to spawn inside of this experiment, or this, whatever that thing is. But it's pretty hard, but you can get him to do it. You can get him to spawn inside. If you wait in there long enough, and so yeah, I just missed it. Just like that. so yeah, but it is something like that. You basically have to get him in this direction. It'll only really work in one direction. You have to lead him basically from this side into this door. And I realize why, this is why people don't play this game, because it is fucking difficult. It's really difficult. Especially on professional. I mean, I have trouble, I've played this game for almost a decade. And I still have trouble getting through professional. I just had trouble getting through a professional campaign, and I had fully upgraded weapons and everything, and so you just made it out again. I'm so totally lagging there. But I'm just gonna finish him off. It sort of is like that. You just have to really be on top of him. You can command Sheva to do it, but and so let me just light this guy up for you guys. And that's sort of all I really wanted to include so much in this one. It was just the main takeaways between the differences of RE4 and RE5. I really think anybody that's trying to get through the Resident Evil series should start with RE4. You shouldn't mess around. You should get the 4 version for your platform, or get the download, or get it on your computer, or whatever you got to do, for the most part, because you got to think you can get a Wii now for what, $100, maybe 80, 60 bucks. So if you get a Wii, and with the gun and the game, you're maybe talking $100, and it is well worth it, especially Wii. And I think you can get, I think there's $35 for the Wii, but maybe not. I think it's PS3, but. And so anyway, you guys, my back's sort of kicking me off. I gotta eat something and stuff. I'm trying to think of anything else I can show you guys as far as some of the unlocks. These are some of the different rounds for that grenade launcher. And I can show you guys some of those too. Let's buy some of those. I'll show you guys some of those. We'll show you all of the different rounds for the rocket launcher. That'll be fun. Flash rounds. There's all sorts of different rounds. Okay, electric rounds. So I think that's the 8th round. So I'll have to empty out basically my whole thing. We will this, Chris, and so let's check this out. Organize. And I really want to do different videos like this where I can show you guys all the different weapon choices. We can do sort of reviews of the weapons, and I can sort of show you which parts of the level you'll want which weapons, because you can have a stockpile of weapons and load, after each chapter, and reload your weapons. And so if you can anticipate what to expect, then you'll know what weapons to load. And so I figure for somebody that may be having trouble beating the game, and that is maybe maybe doesn't have enough advice, or doesn't have enough practice, or something like that, just certainly want to be have some counsel for somebody that is just maybe just having trouble, because it is so fun and it is so hard, and it becomes so addicting and yet so frustrating. And I'll find myself stopping playing the game for a week or a month, and then I'll come back to it. Like this Resident Evil 5, I haven't played in like a long time. I sort of beat it, ran through it, sort of got my weapons, and just sort of sat on it. And so these are let's see what rounds these are. I'll shoot these. So to get effect. So that looked like the explosive rounds. Okay, so and it'll actually say grenade launcher, then that, and it says explosive rounds. And so, and now I can, I think, swipe out the. Okay, so I can't. So when you combine the round, you can switch rounds through the grenade launcher and say you want to use one nitrogen round. Load all your nitrogen rounds, and now I have ice rounds. And so now I'm going to hit this with the ice round, and that was the ice round. And then you can switch back to flash round, which I didn't really know either. So with combine, you'll combine it back, and it'll reload it for you and pull the other rounds out. So that's pretty neat too. And then, like I said, R1 is your map. You can just put your map on and off, which is a really neat feature in this game, which isn't on Resident Evil 4. That map feature is really helpful. And so, yeah, we can. Get into with this. And so that's one of the biggest fallbacks. Is like, say in this instance, when you want to switch, when you want to be able to do that, stop, pause, switch your bullets, you can't. And so you have to do it in time, in gameplay. And so, which adds a whole nother challenge. It's just extremely challenging. And so just having the muscle memory to do that is challenging. And so that's why, one of the biggest things for a beginner, dude, is the quick select. And so setting up your correct weapons and a health ray and a grenade or whatever you got at one of those, put your whatever you use most or whatever you're gonna need quickly, and whatever you're gonna need in the most desperate situation, you're gonna want in those selector spots. And it becomes so convenient though. It is so worth the fact that they won't let you pause to do the other menu changes, and the fact that they gave you that quick select is really sort of a priceless help. It really makes the game way more enjoyable, because once you have a few unlimited weapons, it becomes really apparent to you how effective you can actually get through the game when you have at least 2 unlimited weapons anyway, and then you have an herb on quick and whatever, and it becomes so much easier. And so just little things like that, and it's so funny that Capcom didn't really, they don't disclose much about the playability and how to really play the game, which is sort of interesting because it makes them less desirable of a game to buy. But I don't really think they care so much because, Capcom's whatever. It's a huge company. They're like, they got their fingers in a lot of pies, really. And, they're basically PlayStation. They want to make their games exclusive for some reason. And so, you can't even, they're PlayStation, specific. You can't even get them on Xbox. So that's, it's sort of an interesting, it's just weird how they do it, I think. Especially Capcom's such a big company too. It's not like it's some random game company. It's Capcom, And so I just think it's sort of interesting. And just sort of moseying on through this sort of thing. The treasures, here's the treasures, and so I actually don't have all of the treasures, but these are actually, I think, all of the treasures throughout the whole game, I think, or most of them. And so it leaves a slot where you had it. But, as you can see, I don't have it. But the ones that I do have are lit up. They have a number and they're lit up. But I have all these other ones. And so, but yeah, this is sort of more than a sample of all of the treasures. The different gems. These are like about 5,000. These are about 2 or 3. and some of these beetles get really expensive. Some of this stuff's upwards of 10,000. These gold idols and masks and stuff, these are quite pricey. This one's kind of a cheap one. These ones up here are pretty cheap. This royal necklace is pretty pricey. I think that one's about 10. But funny enough, they don't really have as many of those treasures where you like put the stones into them and stuff like that. And so yeah, I just want to show you guys. Let's go through all the different rounds. We have the electric rounds. Did we go through these electric rounds? Electric round is pretty sweet. BA. Wow. And so a lot of this stuff I've never even used actually. Acid round. Ew. Yuck. What's the float wall? And they're all pretty similar. They're all basically splitting around. You have the flame round. Which is pretty neat. It's a pretty good graphic. Pretty great one. And I think that's all. Electric, nitrogen, flash, that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much the grenade launcher. We'll go on to the next. Oh no, I guess I gotta defeat this guy. But yeah, you guys can click off, move on. I'm going to. This guy doesn't like flames, so this should be pretty quick. But I think you actually can't beat him until you can shoot him with all the ammo in the world, but you can't beat him until he enters through this corridor. Until this door closes, the game won't let you really damage him to the point of defeat. So you have to shoot. So the electric rounds don't really do much on him. Yeah, I'm just kind of showing you this monster because he is actually he's really challenging for a lot of people too. And the biggest thing, you guys, is hey, make suggestions. I don't care how old you are, how much experience you have. If you already have the game, if you don't have the game, I don't care. Put suggestions in for me because it will help me to create valid content. Because I don't want to make stuff that you guys don't want to watch. And so I really only want to make stuff that's suggested. So keep that in mind, that I'm always looking for suggestions as far as what you guys want to see for a challenge or for a sort of a quest or something like that. If you guys want me to do, say one level with one weapon, or give Sheva the stun rod or something like that, or play. I can do walkthroughs of different levels if you guys need help with certain levels, or can't find, can't get through parts or whatever. This is a pretty hard level, and like I said, I've gone through pretty much everything. This is a really fun level. This level is super fun. This is the level that I always play when I just want to go have some fun, because it's a really tough level, and when you have the infinite weapons, it makes it way playable and really, really fun. And so let me just go. I'm just gonna do that as a little bonus for you guys. I'm gonna show you guys this. This is like my cream level, and I actually don't even complete it. This is like the last level with browser and stuff. But I'm gonna give Homegirl 3 magnums. So that's all she'll have to shoot with. She'll have to choose from 3 different magnums. And then what I'm going to equip is, I'm going to equip my rifle, I absolutely need that. And I'm going to equip my HK. And I'm also going to equip take 5 grenades. And so another interesting thing is this. And so this, as you can see, there's 1 grenade in my selector, but that's actually 5 grenades. And so strangely, certain things, basically grenades, and I think a few, there must be something else, will hold in multiples. But like the first aid spray, you can't hold in multiples. It has to be 1 per slot, as you can notice. And so that's like another challenging thing, is that you can have 5 grenades in 1 slot. You can have 5 grenades for every 1 health spray. And so that's another piece of technique, is that, you know what, it's worth it to at least, especially if you're already struggling and you're already having a trouble time, it's good to have, a handful of grenades, and you can buy those too. You can buy grenades. I'm going to run through here. I'm not going to show you too much about this. Is the end of a level where you beat this gigantic tentacle monster. And it's so funny because I bet that there's so many people that haven't had this game play through. They've never played through it, and so they don't really know all of the levels. But and so I'll take that into consideration, that maybe people don't really know what the game has to offer. And so I'm going to you got anybody that hasn't played the game, hasn't been able to get through it, hasn't been able to whatever enjoy it. You let me know, so that I can do some stuff specifically for you guys, as far as tutorials and stuff. Because I'm fairly confident that I could offer at least a some insight, and maybe some technique, and sort of just a little bit of technique is really all you need. See, with this game, it's kind of all about the order in which you do things. And so from this spot right here, I have access to this enemy right here. I can get with my rifle. I can get this guy right here. I could have got this guy, but she already got him. And then there's actually one right here that is basically right within from this standpoint. And so you don't really want to go to the edge to shoot this one guy or these 2 guys. You want to get to a place where you have sort of the most access to the most enemies while providing the most cover. And so it's sort of like a funny little quotient. It's sort of a little, it's a ratio. It's a ratio of cover to access. And so like here's another example. There's a guy right here, and so I have full perfect cover up here. He can't really get to me. And so I should take advantage of being able to get to him while he doesn't have access to me, because I can sit here patiently until he shows up in my scope, and then I can take him out. And this guy's actually hard. He actually has already seen me, and once he sees you, you have to get him before he sees you, because he'll start to react. And so that's why I always have, and I didn't bring my Magnum. I should have brought my Magnum, but I gave it to her. And so she's got 3 Magnum. And so that always pretty much happens to anybody that comes down. He'll get you unless you shoot him prior, basically, or drop a grenade. And that's what I should have done, just drop a grenade. And this is just the beginning of this level. This level's super, super hard and super fun, and I'm going to play it for you guys, just to give you guys a little bit of enjoyment from the end of the game. And so this is actually the last level, and so it's weird how it sort of rewards you with this sort of crazy cool infrastructure, all of these different little nooks. It's really a really intricate level. There's all sorts of different passages and all sorts of funky little sort of like alcoves and weird little things like that. And so this level, from a gamer's perspective, is like the cream level. It's so fun, and it's actually pretty damn challenging. And you'll see why pretty soon. Not just this. This is actually sort of has nothing to do with the challenge. The real challenge is coming up right here. And so you blind that guy, do this kind of turnaround move, and then I got the rifle, so. And like I said, this is not me showing off my skills. If I were to show off my skill, I would definitely make more of an effort. And so I'm just sort of, skulking around here. I'm just sort of showing you guys how this level pans out and stuff like that. Just a real simplified version. I'm not going to show you too much technique or anything. This level is pretty much what you call predestined. You have to. There's only one way to do this level. There's not a lot of ways to get away with doing it in any sort of other order than the way that they allow you to do it. It's actually a pretty difficult level. And like I said, without the Magnum, and speaking of start over again, I don't want to bore you guys. But hey, leave me comments, you guys, too, about what is boring, if some of the, like I said, I'm sort of trying to do a more introductory sort of vibe as far as trying to get people more open to playing a game like this, because it is gross, it's fucking gory, it's disgusting. It's really an awful sort of experience as far as sort of as far as content of violence and stuff like that. I mean, it's gruesome. I mean, it is the most gruesome game. And so it makes it less playable because it is outrageous, it's difficult, it's tedious, and it's gross and scary. And so I realized that that the fan base for this game is pretty limited. Well aware of that. And so, but I also on the tip of I think people should be more open to playing it, because it is it's a fucking great game. I mean, the quality of the game itself, let alone all of the enemies and everything. I don't even want to do this, you guys. I'm gonna have to do this on another. I'm gonna do this on another video. I don't want to hold people up and stuff. But yeah, you guys, leave me suggestions. Super important. Bye.